Welcome race fans to this edition of the Graham Brown Interviews, and this week we're going to be speaking to Sam Holland. Welcome along, Sam.
Thank you.
I'm going to start by asking you how you first got involved in racing at all. I mean, I know you started off by racing mini stocks, but how did you actually get into that? Were your parents into racing, or what happened?
No, actually my parents are both dead against it.
Really?
It came about, actually, my sister's now an ex-partner, Gordon Cool. He used to race bangers, so I used to go along and watch him. Started watching that, then saw mini stocks, then did the whole, I want one of them. My mum actually funded it and bought the first one for my 13th birthday and said she'll never stick to it. It's fine, it's just a phase. Gordon then taught me how to drive. In actually my sister's road car, as it was at the time, in Shoreham Harbour, and it's gone from there really.
Just around the edge, presumably.
Yes.
So you didn't actually know how to make the car go until he showed you?
No, never driven before in my life until he started teaching me.
Now you'll pardon me for the first of what's probably a whole series of sexist remarks, but wouldn't it have been more normal for you to have been interested in, say, horses?
I was at that age.
Stock cars of any description?
Yeah, no, at that age I was actually doing both for a while.
Right.
And then it came to the crunch on which one I wanted to continue. And I picked cars. I'm not sure if that was the wise move or not, but...
Would you describe yourself as having been a tomboy, or...?
No, actually. I'm probably the opposite. Out of racing, I have the false nails and my hair done and all that.
Sure.
Love shopping, all the typical girl things, and then come to the racetrack and race a car, so...
Now, did you do well in mini stocks, or was it just a fun thing? Or?
The first year I was awful, atrocious. In fact, I watched actually when I moved house. I found the video of my first meeting and watched it, and it was awful, teeth pulling to watch. But I think after the first year, I won my first race. I sat at top of the points for a couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have championships in them days, and I think I picked up sort of thirds and things like that, but never shone, if you like. But it was good fun.
Generally speaking, here comes another one of those sexist remarks, right? When girls get to the end of their career in mini stocks, most of them stop. The boys might go on to do something else, but the girls generally stop. Now, you didn't. You went on to do 1300 stock cars, yes?
Yes, yeah.
Natural progression? Never thought about just giving it all up?
No, I think it was because obviously Gordon Cool was still around, and he wanted to go into stock cars as well, so we actually both went into them together.
Right.
In the mini stock I was actually 5'10", which was obviously his old number.
Sure.
So he took that back, and that's where I got 10 from. And I think, like you say, once you've started racing, it's hard to give it up.
Yes, it's like a drug.
Yeah.
But this wasn't now just racing for the sake of doing it. You were actually quite good at 1300 stock cars, weren't you?
Yes, that's where I'd say I made my mark, if anywhere. Obviously I won the British, national champion, points champion, East Anglian, Southern. I did all right in that one.
Yes, and how did that go down with your mainly male competitors?
Not particularly well in a contact formula. I definitely have my war wounds still to this day. But
that's the thing, it's a contact formula, so they had every chance of stopping you,
yeah.
And yet they still couldn't.
Yeah,
so
no, definitely.
There was a sense of resentment you felt in the pits, was it?
Very much so.
You went with that for a while, and then did you stop racing altogether for a little while?
I gave up. I changed jobs, and the job I was in meant I had to work more weekends and things like that. So I decided to give up for a while and decided that contact really wasn't for me that anymore. I started to ache and creak more than I probably should at the age I was. And obviously decided then to go into 2 litres for a bit. Which I think I did for 3 seasons in the end. So
stock rods might have been the more obvious transition. So why the hot rod? Just you fancied a bit more speed?
I blame Kevin Randall for it. I went testing with my new stock car, and he was there with the 2 litre testing. It was round Swaffham, and we were stood ready to book in, if you like. And Pip was behind me in the queue, and Kevin Randall said, "I don't even know why I'm here today. It's raining." And he said, "I just need to see how it goes." And I went, "I'll drive it." And Pip went behind, "Oh, God." And at that point, Randall turned around and said, "You can drive it if you like." So I jumped in it. And all the way home, I was going to Pip, "I want a 2 litre. I want a 2 litre." So obviously, I didn't then. I continued with the stock car, but it was always something that I wanted to do. after that date. So
It was a fair vote of confidence on Randall's part. He
Yeah.
must have seen you drive in the stock car, I would think.
I did have a very scary moment actually. I remember coming out of the bottom bend and got a complete tank slap up at the straight, and it was apparently, Pip said his face kind of just, he didn't know what to do. The pair of them just stood there and froze. But luckily I kept it out of the wall. So
Do you still use that for testing, or?
no, since they closed it, I don't think I've ever been back there since.
So, having done the 2 litres and done reasonably well in the 2 litres, but without ever actually dominating it in the way that you could
Yeah.
be said to have done in the stock cars, why Nationals?
I've always wanted to do it. I've always thought it was the budget that scared me to do it. I'm hoping that I don't have to throw so much money in, and that I'm going to try and prove that I don't need to. And I actually, well, now I've got the National, don't think it's that dissimilar funding as the 2 litre. I think you'll
Funny,
find,
a lot of people do say that.
you know, from the outside you see the Nationals and they all turn up and they've got these fantastic transporters, all the cars look nice, they've got a big
Sure.
team behind them, and it, you know, it does look really impressive. And like I say, now I've actually got it, the actual running of it isn't dissimilar, so fingers crossed I should be able to stay in it.
Well, you presumably do less meetings, which suggests you're going to spend less money on diesel, less money on tyres and like that. So.
And I can sit in front of the fire in the winter.
Yes, of course, that is another thing. You do
Yes.
get a closed season in Nationals, unless,
Yeah.
of course, you want to drive at the NEC. Any thoughts about doing that?
I haven't. Yes and no. I did it. I've done it in the stock car before. I haven't said no, but I haven't really said yes either. It's food for thought.
It's a definite maybe.
Yeah.
So, having decided that you wanted to move to Nationals, what did you do about acquiring a car?
I heard about a car coming up locally where they'd had enough of racing, and decided to take it from there. Really, managed to get it, you know, for a good price, and
And you didn't need to sell anything in order to purchase it?
Well, I did need to sell my 2 litre, but we managed to come to some arrangement that, you know, they'll wait for me to sell the 2 litre, which obviously went about, I think, about 2-3 weeks ago now. In fact, it's actually racing here tonight, I think, with someone in. So
Now, I know you've only done a handful of meetings, 4, something like that, is it? How are you enjoying it?
all right, I think. The reason I say that is obviously I've only been running off the back for the last 3. So
Yes, of course.
tonight will be my first one in the grid with the rest of them. I'll see how today goes. I'd like to say I feel confident, but I'm not going to count my chickens yet.
And has the attitude of your fellow racers changed at all? How are the national guys greeting you and treating you?
To be honest, they're all quite quiet. Obviously in the 2 litres everyone sort of knows everybody and chats away. I find with the nationals people tend to keep themselves more to themselves, sort of within their team, which is, you know, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, they all seem polite enough, and we'll see.
Jolly good. But you haven't sensed that sense of resentment yet a while anyway.
Not yet. But
So
we'll see.
aims and ambitions for the near future in the Formula?
Same as everybody else, I plan to qualify for the grid. I'm going to give it my best shot for this year. If I could just sneak on the back rows for the first
the World
season.
Final, you mean?
Yeah. If I could sneak in the back row for the World Final this year, I'll be over the moon. Obviously, I've already missed 2 rounds and being 3 off the back. It's kind of put me in a bit of a...
It's behind the 8-ball start, really,
Yeah.
yes, but...
Like I say, if I can manage that, I'll be impressed. Obviously, next season we'll give it my all and see what happens. Just have to wait and see, really.
Jolly good. Well, we look forward to seeing it. Sam Holland, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.